Jurassic World Rebirth is a 2025 American science fiction action thriller film directed by Gareth Edwards and written by David Cope. A standalone sequel to Jurassic World Dominion, it is the fourth Jurassic World film and the seventh installment overall in the Jurassic Park franchise. Zora Bennett heads a team of elite operatives on a high-stakes mission to the world's most perilous location, a long-abandoned research facility from the original Jurassic Park. Tasked with retrieving dinosaur DNA believed to hold groundbreaking medical potential, the team ventures into the heart of danger. But as the covert operation unravels, they uncover a dark, long-buried secret that could change everything. Alright, so I've watched Jurassic World Rebirth, a film that, to be honest, I don't think was necessary. It never really needed to be made, and I think a lot of that could also be said for the other previous Jurassic World films. I sort of fear, if it hasn't already been obvious, that this is kind of going down the same route as the Star Wars, modern sequels as well. I feel like it's sort of diminishing the grandeur and the worth of the original franchise, and I fear that people might not look at dinosaur movies the same because Jurassic Park was incredible, it was sick, and, Jurassic World is sort of a bit of a downgrade. But, yeah, I mean, I have good things and bad things to say about this film. I'll get into the pros, I think. First couple good things I could say is that I do think Rebirth sort of returns to this grounded sense of awe of the dinosaurs that really defined the original Jurassic Park franchise. There are some stunning cinematography sequences that really paint these dinosaurs as super menacing and super threatening. And obviously, yes, they are the focal point of the film. And, granted, there is a blueprint to follow with the original Jurassic Park films to make these dinosaurs look like really realistic and menacing. But I don't know, I was still in awe, There are some very beautiful moments. Warm color grading, just the location shots themselves were super mesmerizing. I believe it was shot mostly in Thailand, so that looks beautiful. And the designs of the dinosaurs themselves, I thought were, scientifically appropriate and visually impressive, with the behaviors of these dinosaurs modeled after real-world animals. So, for example, you have the T-Rex, which mimics sort of like a saltwater crocodile, and you have the Monosaurus, which mimics like this great white shark. And so I thought, you have these creatures that are threatening on both land and water. And to be honest, I was like, it really did feel like at certain points any character could die. It did feel that sort of, I keep reusing the same words, threatening and menacing, but it did sort of give me that sort of anxiety. However, I will say, the fact that they add a family into this film, there's basically like this subplot with a family, and I guess they were on a boat trip and now they're sort of stranded on this island along with the other operatives. It does give them a bit of plot armor, it doesn't, when you add a family like that, it sort of takes away the stakes and it sort of takes away the risks of actually killing them off, because at the end of the day, this is a family movie. This is a family. Literally, there was like a family sitting right next to me and my friend watching this film, and the mom was feeding popcorn to her son while they were watching this dinosaur film. And it's like, yeah, it becomes pretty obvious that, the family characters will survive towards the end. So I never had that sort of fear that maybe one of them, especially towards the second half, it felt very clear towards the path that this film was going on, but yeah, I mean, it is a family PG-13 film, so, I mean, I don't know, I feel like over the years, it's become less and less, violent in a way. I'm not too sure how to describe it. Anyways, I'll get back into that point later, but another pro that I want to, shout out is Alexandre Desplat's, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, but his orchestral score, they do use I believe they do take the score from the original Jurassic Park, which is obviously nice because that is one of the like most monumental scores in all of cinematic history. So that was cool. And Alexandre Desplat's orchestral score that combines tribal percussion and very powerful choral elements that really heightens the emotion and the suspense of the film. Performances wise, I think Scarlett Johansson, I think she was good overall. I think she did shine as this strong, capable leader. So I don't believe she was miscast. I've read some reviews online that, you know, she might have not have been like the right person for this film, but I did also read somewhere that she's been trying to get into this Jurassic World franchise for like the past 10 years. So it's awesome to see that she's the protagonist. Mahershala Ali, you know, that's my guy. I'm glad he's in this. And Jonathan Bailey, who I've actually never seen perform in a movie. Like, I've never seen his performance before. I didn't see Wicked, actually. But I know he's sort of been like a trending actor. And I have to say, his performance was probably the best in this film. I very much liked him. Apparently, he also performed a clarinet solo that added to the orchestral score when his, you know, character doctor touches one of the dinosaurs or like rests his hand on the dinosaur's head. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. He played a solo. Yeah, I mean, his character adds so much emotional depth and so much charm, to be honest. Another shout out I have to give to a standout side character. I got to give it to this actor who plays Xavier. He's basically like the boyfriend of one of these other, like the dad's daughter, and he's basically with the family. But yeah, I mean, I just thought he was a standout. He actually became like, he started as one of the characters that I kind of wished would be killed off to one of the characters I was rooting for towards the end. So I thought that was just amazing character development. And there are some actually tender moments between him and the dad, which, you know, does seem a bit cliche, but actually I felt was kind of emotionally heartwarming. But yeah, I mean, these sequences, they are thrilling, they are entertaining, but they are fun for younger audiences. And so that's why I truly feel that there needs to be an R-rated horror dinosaur film soon. I just think it needs to happen. You know, I think back to the original Jurassic Parks, and I feel like they were just a lot more risk-taking when they killed off characters. I felt like a lot more violent. It sort of felt Jaws-like, you know, and Jaws was an R-rated film that Steven Spielberg also directed. And I don't know, Jurassic Park sort of felt like it was touched into that atmosphere as well. But now with Jurassic World Rebirth, it sort of feels like, you know, the characters that die in this film, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but they deserve to die, to be honest. Or not that they deserve to die. It's very obvious who's going to die in this film. It becomes very, very obvious. You know, if you have little to no dialogue, or if you're a bad guy, you're dead, essentially. And so that's why I definitely think we need an R-rated horror dinosaur film, because I want to see some blood. I want to see some guts. You know, I want there to be risks. I want a character that you pray doesn't die actually ends up dead by one of the monsters. So I definitely think it needs to happen. Other stuff that I didn't really like in this film, as sort of expected, you know, there's some logic-defying moments. Literally, this whole movie sort of starts and commences from this bizarre moment where a Snickers wrapper is like the Snickers wrapper causes a lab malfunction. I don't know if this was a product placement or the scriptwriters really thought that this was a great route to go on, but I just found it to be highly unbelievable. I mean, how does the lab malfunction based off of a wrapper? There's so much money spent on this equipment, and it's all goes to waste because of a wrapper. And then there's another moment where a character operates an abandoned vehicle that was long abandoned, and suddenly he manages to perfectly function the vehicle. You know, this was abandoned for God knows how long, I believe 10 or so years, just perfectly functions. So overall, I do feel like these contrivances and these coincidences sort of pile up towards the climax, and that's why I feel like it becomes a bit underwhelming. It sort of diminishes the tension and the stakes that were previously held throughout the film. I felt a lot more at the edge of my seats in the beginning of the film than I did at the end, because I knew who was going to survive. It became a lot more obvious. Overall, the narrative coherence and the dialogue sometimes suffer. I I feel like that's pretty normal. I never really expected the dialogue to be out of this world, but you know, it's also a bit cliche, like, oh, they're trying to retrieve this DNA to help mankind, and there's a lot of dialogue back and forth about, who should this medicine go towards? Should we give it to a pharmacy or should we give it to everybody? And so it is sort of like it's like they were trying to get like really liberal with this dialogue, which I'm all for. I think everyone should retrieve the medicine, but I don't know. It felt like a bit forced and hammed towards like down to the back of our. It's like they were trying to cram this dialogue into the back of our throats, but or like this political agenda. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was okay. Another thing, Steven Spielberg is credited as a producer, but I have a hard time figuring out what these producers even do, because I always feel like they're on sets. Maybe they help with the financials, but they're on set and they also help the story really come to life. But I do have to say, even though Spielberg was marked as a producer or credited as a producer, his storytelling magic just feels missing. It's like you see his name pop up and you're like, okay, maybe we'll get the allure and the charm that the OG Jurassic Park franchise had, but it never really comes. And this does not have, and I think it was obvious from the get-go, but this does not have the charm as the OG franchise, which, it sucks, but I guess sort of understandable. This film really just travels down to travels toward familiar territory, with lots of recycled elements here and there. Sort of like from the earlier Jurassic World installments, it doesn't necessarily do anything new. The bad guys, always get what they deserve towards the end, and the good guys survive. I mean, it's basically like that. And so, yeah, I mean, I think this might disappoint audiences with the audience members who have sort of like higher expectations and maybe are looking for innovations. But I have to be honest, if you're going to this Jurassic World film, the fourth Jurassic World film, and you're expecting something to be innovative, maybe the directors and the producers and script writers will take creative risks, and maybe, something will finally happen differently. That's not the way to go about it. If you actually believe that, then I'm sorry. That's just not how it goes, especially with these studio films. I mean, this is a cookie cutter studio driven film. I mean, when you think about it like that, yes, the script is going to be very, very basic and maybe a bit monotonous. And the story becomes very familiar. It becomes very obvious to which characters will survive and which characters will die. All you can really look forward to is just the thrilling sequences. It's just seeing the dinosaurs in action. That's the only best things about this film. The little dialogue moments between characters as they try to this movie sometimes tries to make you care for these characters. They'll bring up moments where apparently one of the characters' friends died in a previous mission, or one of the characters lost connection with their son or something. I wasn't really feeling that, and I didn't necessarily care, because you could tell he was trying to force these, emotional, sentimental moments into down to the back of our throats, but I just didn't care about it, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, overall, this film is visually impressive. It is entertaining. It's a bit of an entertaining ride. I didn't regret seeing this film after I exited the theater. I thought it was good. And I think the only thing that really carries this film, apart from the visuals, is maybe just the nostalgic tone. If you appreciated, the original Jurassic Park franchise, it's interesting. I think if you appreciated the OG franchise, you might not want to see this film because of how impactful that franchise was to you. But maybe you'll also want to see this film because you just kind of want to see these dinosaurs again and again in live action, I mean, the dinosaur visual, for me, the visuals never disappointed. I think some people complain about the CGI. I don't have those complaints. I thought it was very impressive. But yeah, I think it's just the nostalgia that might carry this film. The script is very shaky. There are implausible moments here and there. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it. It's a solid film. It's a solid family film. We want that. I need that R-rated horror film, I need it for it to happen. I want to see blood. I want to see guts. I don't want to go down the safe studio driven path anymore. if there's another, God forbid, there's another Jurassic World film that's pumped out. I don't need that, okay? I don't need that anymore. Let's take risks from now on. But yeah, I mean, overall, this film was okay. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I still think it's a solid film. I think it could still be appreciated in theaters. I did not regret seeing it, but yeah, 6 out of 10 is my final score. Yeah, but that's about it. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.